Welcome guys to Amber Quartz part 11. As I said, over the weekends I tried to finish episode 3 of Amber Quartz, or what I said is that I at least bring an episode to you guys. Things didn't go as planned because family was over and we did some barbecue, so I was kind of busy with stuff. Also, if you guys don't know, I'm an active Heaven Burns Red player, and fucking Visual Arts Key just decided to drop the overpowered current, so I'm fighting for my life to get it in the month of May. So it did not help. So I was busy. But I'm here to record some Amber Quartz part 11. I don't know how long this episode is going to take. Hopefully I did not end the previous part as we have 2 minutes of gameplay, because I know that some visual novel players out there experience this. But so far I kind of caught every part perfectly, so let's just get to it. We left off where Nayuta seems to be troubled, and I don't know what happened with Tenyuji, but yeah. But by the way, I don't know what happened to Nayuta, because she had to see what we did. So let's just go.
Nayu-chan, 目が覚めましたか?
Fuck. Okay. So that issue wasn't the Tenyuji one. It was a completely different one, okay.
あれ? Tama-chan?
When I woke up, for some reason I was lying on the grass. What's more, it seemed like Tamako was letting me rest my head on her lap.
私、いつの間に眠ってたの? 覚えてませんか? なゆちゃん、ちょっと立ちくらみを起こしたんですよ。あれ? そうだっけ?
My head's still a bit fuzzy, so I don't really remember.
あ、そうだ! それより先輩は、あの子とどうなったの? さあ、私はここでなゆちゃんを介抱してましたから、その後どうなったのかまでは。そうだよね。ありがとう、たまちゃん。
I don't trust you, Tenyuji.
いえ、どういたしまして。でも気になる。先輩との子、どういう関係なの?
What hit? At that moment, my mind was completely preoccupied with my senior, so I didn't notice how Tamako was feeling. Or Tama-chan. I noticed that... what the fuck is this? Usually I don't show this, but sometimes it's just fuck it. I don't know. Tenyuji, yeah. This is how you... I mean, no. Tamako is not Tenyuji to her. Tamako is Tama-chan to her. Hime. Yeah, this was the part 9 cutoff that I thought I left in the middle of, but apparently not. Hime, where did you go, Hime?
Hime?
Cool. Hime flew into a rage, started wailing, and impulsively ran out of the abandoned factory. By the way, I still think that this bitch is Nayuta, because... and the fact that it played right after a Nayuta scene, it just does not help. We couldn't just leave her there, so we all split up to look for Hime. And right now, I was looking for the space park with Koto. I just can't find her. Koto and I wandered around the space park, but we couldn't find Hime anywhere. Since this is the park where I met Hime, I thought it was the most likely place. But this park is huge. Even if I tried, I couldn't possibly search the whole thing.
Subaru.
What's wrong, Koto?
見つけた。
I found her. Huh? Koto tugged at my sleeve and muttered under her breath. Koto, are you sure this is the right way? Following my instincts, I veer off the walking path and head into the woods beside it. I really fucking love the background scenery, by the way. I never say this, but this is like top notch for 2008. Or, I mean, I don't know if it, like this was the era when everything was drawn by hand, I feel. Or I don't know if it was like digitally drawn, but it felt like it's more like hand drawn-ish. Is Hime really here? Or rather, how does Koto know this? Just as I was thinking that, I heard the sound of quiet sobbing. That crying, it sounds familiar. There's only one person who's crying I've heard enough to remember. Wow, she was really here. One moment. Just as Koto had said, Hime was there. I found it strange, but I decided to call out to Hime anyway. Hime, come on, let's go home. I swear if you want to, I swear if you dare to scream again. I was in the wrong just now, so please stop crying.
だって、スバルお兄ちゃんが怒った。
I said I'm sorry. I just got a little loud. I'm not mad anymore, so let's go home. No matter how much I tried to get her to come home, Hime just kept shaking her head and saying no. Oh man, it looks like she's completely sulking.
姫。ことちゃん。痛いの痛いの飛んでけ。
Koto said this in a matter-of-fact tone and began to gently stroke Hime's head.
いい子いい子。
I almost said something, then I realized I...
あれ私、なんで
Hime. She had powers that can make her calm. After a while, Hime suddenly stopped crying. Just a moment ago, she was fussing non-stop, but then it was as if a switch had been flipped. Could it be that this is thanks to Koto patting Hime's head? That's amazing, Koto. Koto. That's amazing, Koto. To be able to stop Hime from crying so easily. Oh my god! It's like Life is Strange True Colors. But I don't know if like you know, make them rid of the emotion and you get that, but I think you can kind of feel it. What?
お父ちゃん
Damn. Okay, so she had this power. What's wrong, Koto?
お父ちゃんが泣いてる。でもなんで
Both him and I were pretty flustered when she suddenly started crying. After all, Koto has never cried like this before. Koto, what's wrong? Why are you crying?
近藤ちゃん、泣かないでよ。よしよし、よしよし。
After that, I went back to the others with Hime, trying to calm Koto down along the way. And Hime, who had started the whole thing, tilted her head and asked, Hime, why was I crying again? I love this, okay? Like, it's so obvious, but I love it. So, what should we do today? The next day, on Sunday morning, we gathered again at the abandoned factory to discuss what to do next.
そうね。昨日の話を整理すると、まず姫と会ってきちんと話をする必要があるわ。
彼女の異能は自分の血を爆発物に擬態させる。確かそうだったよね。
That's kind of painful sounding. That's what the alien got said. Oh, that's what the alien got said yesterday. I didn't really get it though. His scythe, which had made a shallow cut on Sunny. I mean, I call her Selena, so. His scythe, which had made a shallow cut on Selena's arm, suddenly flew off with her scream. If what that alien god says is true, it means that the blood of Selena on his scythe exploded.
そういうことなら、一昨日の爆発もあいつの態度にも一応説明がつくな。
Her. So, Hime was awakened to her special ability, but since she doesn't understand it, she can't control it?
だとしたら、姫は今とても危険な状態だわ。あの子の能力は私たちのものより強力だけど、下手すると暴発してしまう恐れがあるもの。
She becomes a villain. Yeah, I guess so. It's like having a bomb stuffed inside my body. Apparently, our special abilities can be broadly divided into two types. Destructive and not destructive. One is a sensory ability, like Mikone's perception, or my keyhole of memory. Another is the ability to mimic part of one's own body, much like my nerve wire or Kyo's bronze form. Bronze mode, bronze mode, bronze mode, bronze form. Why did you name it like that, Kyo? Why did you put emphasis on your power, Kyo? It seems Selena's ability falls into the latter category, but unlike mine or Kyo's, it appears to be significantly harder to control. You have to cut yourself for it to work. It's kind of shit. Basically, when Kyo and I use our abilities, there's little chance of hurting ourselves. Plus, we can revert them whenever we want. However, in Selena's case, the part that exploded would naturally be lost, and there's even the possibility of a literal self-destruction.
それに敵の偉人の存在も気になる。姫ちゃんはその偉人に狙われていたんでしょ？
Yeah, even from my perspective, that foreign gods seem pretty obsessed with Selena, or Hime. What's more, that otherworldly gods seemed more driven by a desire to slice women to pieces than by a desire to devour Selena. That wasn't so much the preference of a foreign god as it was something straight out of a serial killer's playbook.
下手すれば暴発しかねない姫の能力。そして、あの子を狙う偉人。思ったより事態は深刻だわ。
So, what should I do?
彼女の身の安全のためにも、なんとか自分の置かれてる状況を理解してもらわないと。
しかし昨日の様子を見ると、それがなかなか厄介そうだけどな。
Kyo muttered that, looking rather glum. Well, I completely agreed with him, though. Selena, Hime has always been prone to throwing tantrums whenever her emotions ran high. And once that happened, it became completely unmanageable, and I remember having a really hard time calming her down.
それでも何とかして分かってもらうしかないわ。今日はみんなで説得に行きましょう。
Yeah, I guess we do that. Since it seems like people especially dislike me, it'd be probably better to have other members present if we are going to talk. After discussing it as a group, we decided to go back to that coffee shop first. However,
サリナちゃんですか？あの子、今日はお休みですよ。
really?
ええ、本当はシフトに入ってたんだけど、急に体調が悪くなったって連絡があって。
Is that so? Thank you very much. In that case, I had no business being here. I thanked them and left the cafe. Why don't you ask where she lives? Because, oh, we can't give our co-workers or workers' name or address. So, anyway. Then, when I returned to the main street of the shopping district where everyone is waiting, I report that.
バイトは休み。しかも急病って話なら、普通は家にいるはずよね。
Considering what happened yesterday, I think psychological factors are probably the bigger issue. In fact, considering the explosion that happened the day before yesterday, it's quite admirable that she went to work. So, where is Salina's house again?
それなんだけど、姫は今、実家にはいないらしいの。
she's not at her parents' house. What do you mean by that? Exactly what it means.
それが、昨べ友といろいろ調べてみたんだけど、あの子、どうも家出中らしくて。
Running away? Why on earth would she do something like that?
詳しい事情や理由まではわからない。とにかく、今は家を出て一人暮らしをしているそうなの。
ただ、一人暮らしといっても、住んでるところは親の所有するマンションみたい。
That's not so much running away from home as it is living apart, isn't it? The fact that she's living in a condominium owned by her parents really gives off that vibe of a rich girl, even if she's fallen on hard times. Come to think of it, running away from home is that why she's working part-time at a place like that.
じゃあ今あいつが住んでるマンションに行ってみるか。
そうね。他に手がかりもないし。
It is said that the location of the apartment building where Selena lives has already been identified. We decided to head there right away, all of us together. By the way, whether it was along the way or back at the shopping district, Mikone really stood out in her Shrine Maiden outfit. Since neither Tomo nor Kyo said anything, I couldn't bring myself to make a joke. Oh, come to think of it, was Mikone always like this? New CG. So this is the apartment building. Not far from the shopping district, located about a 15-minute walk from the station. Led by Mikone, we arrived in front of what looked like the rather impressive apartment building. For real. This is the same as Senko-san's building. You live alone in an apartment like this?
正確には、姫の親がこのマンションを経営していて、あの子はそこの空き部屋に勝手に住んでるらしいわ。
So you're saying the parents know about it and are just letting it slide?
多分そう。さっきスバルくんも言ってた通り、家出というより別居に近い感覚だと思う。
要は親とうまくいってないってことか。あいつもこの7年の間にいろいろあったんだろうな。
Knowing how Selena had been the day before, Kyo said this with deep feeling. I'm thinking about yesterday too. Salina who lost her composure from the shock of being attacked by that alien god. I'm already dealing with enough of my own stuff right now, so just leave me alone. Now I feel like I can understand just a little bit of what she meant by that line she blurted out as she was leaving.
とにかくあの子の部屋を訪ねてみましょう。
Yeah, that's true. It'd be nice if she was in her room. The four of us trudged over to the front door. The entrance had an automatic lock system. Without hesitation, Tomo entered the room number.
前もって調べておいたから。
I see. She really is efficient. If you were wondering how does she know this information, then the game explained it right away. And so, we wait for the owner of the room to reply. No one's answering.
やっぱり留守なのかしら。
イルスを使ってる可能性もあるぞ。本来なら空き部屋なんだろ、その部屋は。
じゃあ直接部屋の前まで行ってみる？
But how do you open the automatic lock on the front door?
それは大丈夫。
After saying that, Minakura began entering another set of numbers. Then I heard the sound of the lock clicking open. Wait, how did you just open that?
前もって調べておいたから。
It's a mystery exactly what she looked into and how, but I decided not to press the issue. Man, it feels like I've been doing nothing but this kind of stuff lately. Then we walked straight into the apartment building and made our way to the door of the apartment where Salina currently lives. No reply. Must be expected.
ここまで来たんだから、本当に中に誰もいないかどうか確かめないと。
Kick down the door. How? Don't tell me Tomo's going to work something out again.
さすがにそこまでは前もって調べられなかった。
Oh, right, I guess so, yeah. For some reason, Tomo's answer made me feel incredibly relieved.
だから今度はスバル君に任せる。
Me? No, I didn't bring anything with me.
準備なんていらない。神経ワイヤーを使ってくれれば。
I'm going to lockpick. Oh my god, that's so... I don't know if I can do that. I'm going to lockpick the door with the neural wire? The nerve wires? How?
神経ワイヤーは感覚神経の役割も果たしているはず。ワイヤーを部屋の中に侵入させれば人の気配の有無くらいはわかると思う。
Oh. Is that so? I didn't know that.
自分の能力なのになんで知らないんだよ。
Even so, you can still use the features you don't understand the principles behind.
スバル君、昔から説明書とか読まないタイプだった。
You are sharp, Tomo. Even though we are childhood friends, we haven't actually known each other that long. Well, if you say so, Tomo, I give it a try. I stand in front of the door, hold my hand out in front of me and tense my fingertips. I then extended the wire and fed it through the keyhole of the door. Of course, you can't see what's happening on the other side of the keyhole. All I can feel is the sensation of the object touching the wire transmitted through the nerve wire. How should I put this? It felt like I was groping my way through the darkness.
どう？中の様子がわかる？
Yeah, sort of. I've got a general idea of the layout of the room. Wow. 3D. Probably a 3-bedroom apartment with a restroom and toilet, and of course it's not a prefab restroom. It was quite spacious for a 1-bedroom apartment, but it didn't feel or look very cluttered with furniture or belongings.
それで肝心の姫は？
I don't sense anyone around. At least I don't sense anything moving. Besides, if the people inside saw wires moving around the room, you'd think they normally react in some way. Since it's not here, since she's not here, that means the room is indeed empty. Yeah, I still don't sense anyone here. I'm pretty sure they are really not home.
そう。じゃあ、ここにいても仕方ないわね。
We decided to head back to the apartment building for the time being. So, what do we do next?
困ったわね。他に心当たりはないし。
こうなったら手分けして手当たり次第に探し回るか。
Wasn't there a place where we found her with Koto, or yeah, Koto, and maybe she's there?
うん。それしかないと思う。
So we decided to split up for a bit and go explore the town together. She couldn't possibly be here, could she? As I look out over the square by the bell tower, I find myself muttering to myself. After saying goodbye to everyone, my feet naturally carried me towards the space park, because this place has a CG. This is the place where we were attacked by a demon yesterday. There's no way Selena would just stroll in here. But then, why am I here? It's faint, but I have a sense of deja vu. I feel like something like this has happened before. We all split up to look for him, and I made it all the way here. Back then, wasn't it someone who found Hime? Yeah, back then there was supposed to be someone with me. And that child led me to Hime.
あれ先輩
やっ
ぱり先輩だよし、今日は他に誰もいないみたいね。
Yuta, what are you doing here? When I turned around, there was Nayuta in civilian clothes. By the by, I dig this outfit. At the same time, the feeling that I was on the verge of remembering something vanished, and my memory was once again shrouded in a hazy fog.
そういう先輩こそ、こんなところで何やってるんですか?
No, nothing really. I mean, why are you suddenly in such a bad mood?
別に全然不機嫌じゃありません。むしろ偶然先輩に会えて嬉しいです。
That's why I'm telling you, your delivery doesn't match the lines.
だって、それは先輩が悪いんだから。
Nayuta is acting all sulky and saying things I don't really get. Did I do something wrong? Well, that aside, I don't have time to worry about Nayuta right now. Sorry, Nayuta, I didn't know what you were mad about, but maybe next time.
先輩、どこ行くんですか?
No, I got something I need to do, so I'm in a hurry.
先輩
I told her that without waiting for the reply, then hurriedly left the square. There I am, walking alone along the path in the park, and following behind me another set of footsteps. I didn't even have to turn around, I could tell by the presence and the footsteps. This was Nayuta's. Unfortunately, Nayuta had been silently following me. Nayuta, give it a rest already.
はい、何のことですか?
I told you to stop following people.
私、ただ散歩してるだけですもん。たまたま先輩が私の前を歩いてるだけですもん。
Nayuta, in her usual sulky tone, casually spouts childish, petty arguments without a second thought. Patty, sorry. What am I going to do? This is getting... sorry, I thought I was talking. What am I going to do? This is getting really complicated. I can't exactly take Noita with me to look for Stalina, and besides, there's no way I could explain it. Huh? Wait, if she's Koto, she finds her, no? Like, I know. Like, I can see through you, no matter if you change your clothes, bitch. At that moment, Nayuta's gaze shifted away from me. To be precise, it seemed like she spotted something over my shoulder. Realizing this, I turned around without a second thought. Selena, I finally found you. Selena was just emerging from the woods beside the walking path. She hadn't noticed us yet. But what should I do? If I talk to her right here and now, with Nayuta around, things might get complicated. And judging by how things went yesterday, it seems people really don't like me. I couldn't rule out the possibility that if I spoke to her, she might run away again. Shh, be quiet. Before Nayuta could say anything, I instinctively covered her mouth with my hand. And then shoved Nayuta deep into the bushes. Selena glanced this way, but she didn't seem to notice us hiding in the bushes. Soon, Selena continued walking along the promenade by herself. I watched her back from behind the bushes. And in my pocket, Nayuta is making soft, muffled noises even though her mouth is covered. In my pocket. What should I do in this situation? I found Selena, but I can't bring myself to talk to her right now. Plus, she's got that Nayuta thing going on. Or I got that Nayuta thing going on? Who's got that Nayuta thing going on? That Nayuta seems just like a... What the fuck? This Nayuta seems just like a cursed item. It doesn't look like it will come off easily. I can shake her off, probably. I guess I have no choice, Nayuta. I don't mind you coming along, but could you please keep quiet for now and not ask for details? Mofu? I'm a little swamped right now. Anyway, I have to go after that girl from earlier. Mofu. Indeed. There's nothing for Nayuta to worry about. It's just that she's an old friend of mine. So I'm not telling you not to follow me. I just don't want you to get in the way. Got it? Fluffy. With her mouth still covered, Nayuta nodded vigorously. Nayuta says some pretty crazy things, but she never deceives me or lies to me. So I trusted Nayuta and let go of the hand that had been covered. That had been covering my mouth. No. Let go of the hand that had been covering her mouth. Sorry I got a little rough on you out of the blue. Joke's on you, I'm into that Yeah, joke's on you, I'm into that shit. What are you talking about? Wow. Oh, that's right. I followed Selena, still carrying Nayuta. There you are. So you're going outside the park after all. Selena leaves the space park and keeps walking. For now, I decide to follow her so I wouldn't lose sight of her while contacting Mikone on my cell phone. Moshi moshi?
Hi, moshi moshi? Subaru-kun?
Miko, I found Hime. Right in front of the main entrance to Space Park. I'm afraid she will run away again if I try to talk to her, so I'm quietly following her. Got it. I'll keep you updated via email as we move around.
わかったわ。お願いね。
For SMS. After saying just that, I hung up. All I could do now was hope that Miko and the others would arrive soon.
先輩、今の電話、誰にかけたんですか？っていうか、ミコ姉って誰なんです？
No, I told you, let's talk about that later.
先輩、最近やたらモテてません？もしかして、人生に3度あるというモテ期なんですか？
I told you that's not what I meant. Maybe bringing Nayuta along was a mistake after all, but I can't very well send her back now. Though I felt a twinge of regret, I followed Salina along with Nayuta. Still, Salina, where on earth is she planning to go? And so another day comes to an end. Dusk, twilight, and then the witching hour. You got possessed by a sec. By the time it was that late, the place Salina had gone to was... Where is this? Salina headed for a secret hideout from 7 years ago. The abandoned factory. Salina, so you remember this place? Besides the fact that you are visiting here at this particular time means...
誰か、いるの？
Standing in front of the abandoned factory, Salina whispers softly, startled by her words, a frozen place. No way, did she find me?
ねえ、誰かいないの？
For a moment I thought Salina had noticed me, but she kept talking, her gaze fixed on the abandoned factory. She pretends to go inside, but stops halfway. As if knowing full well that no one was inside, yet afraid to see that fact with my own eyes.
誰もいるわけないわよね。
Salina muttered again. However, those words weren't meant for anyone in particular. They were simply... What? A Solilo guy? What is that? A guy? Yeah, it's something I tell myself to convince myself. It's something... I don't know. Finally, her shoulders began to shake, and she started to sob. She really is a princess. I mean, she's still such a crybaby. Watching Salina break down like that, I started to feel overwhelmed too. Nayuta, sorry. You stay hidden here.
先輩、ちょっと。
I called out to Nayuta next to me and she burst out from the bushes where she had been hiding. Hime.
あんたどこから？
Hime. Listen to us. We are on your side.
だから姫って呼ぶなって言ったでしょ。なんなのよいきなり。
Salina seemed quite shaken when she saw me suddenly appear. But I ignored that and keep talking. Hey, Hime? Do you remember the vows we made?
誓いの言葉。
One for all for one. Didn't we swear that 7 years ago? That's why I want to help you. Can't you at least hear me out? I'm desperately pleading with Salina. To Salina. Just as Tomo had saved me when I was attacked by a demon a few days ago, I wanted to save Salina too. Because I was so happy to discover that the bond I thought was lost was still alive and well. The fuck? Huh?
今さら何調子のいいこと言ってんのよ。7年前、私から離れていったのはあんたじゃない。私たちから逃げたくせに。
I ran away. Me?
あんた、最初から私たちのことなんかどうでもよかったんでしょ。あんたにとって大事なのはことちゃんだけだった。だからことちゃんがいなくなったら、あっさりと私たちのことを捨てたんだ。
No way, I...
ことちゃんがいなくなって、あんたまで私たちから離れていったせいで。
Salina's words spoken as she wailed and cried out cut deep into my heart. Is it my fault that the group fell apart 7 years ago? Until I reunited with Miko and the others, I hadn't realized there were gaps in my memory. I remember my childhood friends from 7 years ago, Tomo and Mikone, but I couldn't remember at all why we'd grown apart. There were a few things that bothered me, but I convinced myself they were so trivial that I surely forget them. I've forgotten far too many things that matter. To be precise, I can't seem to recall the most important details. That girl named Koto that Salina mentioned earlier, the foreign deity who appeared 7 years ago, the reason I drifted apart from everyone. These are things I really shouldn't forget. Things I simply can't forget.
だからもう全部今さらなのよ。今さら。
Please tell
昔みたい
her.
には戻れない。
This is now good writing, but just please tell her exactly. Not just ... Just
私のことを
tell.
放っておいて。
I was completely floored by her outright rejection. That's right. It's presumptuous of me, someone who can't even remember what happened 7 years ago, to think I could save my childhood friend.
あなた、何言ってるんですか？昔なんてそんなの関係ないでしょ？はあ？誰よあんた？
Koto. Narita, I told you to hide.
いいえ、私にも言わせてください。正直、お二人の話はさっぱりわかりませんでしたが、でも大事なのは、今どうしたいか、今どうするべきかでしょ？あなたはさっきここで、誰かいないのって言ってたじゃないですか。それって、誰かにいてほしかったってことでしょ？一人は嫌だったってことでしょ？私も一人は嫌です。特にこんな夕暮れ時に一人ぼっちなんて嫌すぎます。だから私はしつこくても呆れられても好きな人のそばにいたいんです。
Narita.
あなた、本当にこのままでいいんですか？一人ぼっちでいいんですか？私は。
Salina clearly seemed shaken by the words of Narita, who was supposed to be an outsider with no knowledge of the situation. And I too was encouraged by Narita's words and was pulling myself together. It must be because Narita is speaking her mind without holding back. That's why it resonates so deeply with our hearts, which have become paralyzed by social obligations and rationalizations. If I don't do anything here, things will just go back to the way they were before. I don't remember much about those old days, but I was certain of that much. Salina.
いや、私に近寄らないで。
As I took a step forward, Salina screamed and backed away. But I couldn't back down. I felt that even if I was rejected, this was the moment to step forward. It's like Narita is constantly clinching to me. Sometimes you need to be a little forceful to get someone to open up. I get it. I'm not moving an inch from here. In return, you better not move either. What the fuck? Saying that, I held out my hand over. What the fuck? No! No, 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 no. Tense your fingertips. Focus your mind. Imagine extending your nerve from the tip of fingers, making them thin and sharp. The power of mind is meant to reach those who are out of my reach. That opponent, it isn't necessarily always an enemy. Go for it! Take this, probably. And then I extended the neurowire towards Selena. Selena gasped in surprise, but before she could even flinch, the wire reached her. I made contact with Selena through the neurowire. And then, keeping her focused, or I don't know, keeping my focus, I unlocked the keyhole of her memory. I hurry along the deserted narrow path at a brisk pace. I was on my way home after running some errands to my boss at my part-time job. I decided to take a shortcut through the back alleys.
っていうか、こんな格好で大通りを歩けるか。
That manager saying don't bother changing, just go as you are since you are in a hurry. He's definitely harassment with an ulterior motive. I'm starting to think I should just quit already. But the pay is really good though.
そこのお嬢さん、ちょっといいかな。
え？
こんな狭い道をそんなに急いでどこへ行くの？
何ですか？
The one who spoke to me was a creepy-looking guy. He was ridiculously tall, but had a hunched back and terrible posture, and there was something about him that made me feel like he was going to pounce on me at any moment.
しかもそんなはしたない格好で。それじゃ危ない人に襲われちゃうよ。ああ、無駄無駄。この時間帯はね、空白地帯なんだよ。あたりの店はまだ営業前。客も店員もいない。
来ないで。
でもね、たまにいるんだよ。君みたいに一人でのこのことこういう場所を通る子がさ。
The man swung his arm, that impossibly long arm of his, down toward me in a swift motion. I instinctively raised my hand to shield my face, and at the same time a searing sensation shot through my palms.
やだ、違う。
When I looked, I saw that the palm of my left hand had a shallow cut, with a red gash rising to the surface. Could it be? Was I just slashed by that man?
いい感触だ。やっぱり切り刻むなら女に限るね。
As he said that, the man licked the blood off his own hand with his tongue. He cut me with his bare hands, without a knife or anything. At the same time, I was remembering something. The recent string of serious slasher murders that had been happening in this town. Most of the victims were young women, and they had all been mutilated beyond recognition, their bodies brutally slashed and torn apart.
嘘でしょ。なんでこんな。
正直腹も減ってるんだけどよ。それよりももう一つの欲求の方が強いんだ。最初に食った人間がたまたま異常殺人者で、しかもこんなに影響を受けるとは思ってなかったぜ。
何？一体何のこと言ってるの？
人の記憶を糧にする俺たちは、食った人間の記憶を受け継ぎ、それを力に変える。だが時に受け継いだ記憶から大きな影響を受けちまう。 それが強い感情を伴う記憶であればあるほどな。
Yeah, explain to us your origin story.
お願い、来ないで。近寄らないでよ。
だから俺自身に求められないんだ。この人を切り刻みたいっていう欲求をな。
The man raises his long arm again, probably to slash at me. No, I don't want it to hurt. I want it to be wounded. I don't want to be wounded. I don't want to die. I don't want to be killed. That's why I reached from the very bottom of my heart.
それ以上、私に近づかないでよ。
The next moment, a sudden explosion erupted between the man and me. And just as I had wished, the man was unable to get any closer to me, and instead was blown backward with great force. I see, so that's how it was. The scene I glimpsed through the keyhole of memories allowed me to grasp the general situation. That strange god was the culprit behind a series of serial street murders. To be precise, it was the strange god that devoured the culprit, I suppose. This is getting complicated. He said a lot of things that caught my attention, but right now Selena was a bigger concern. The keyhole of memories, a name I given it on my own, but through it I could peek into the memories of others. But that's all it is. I can only observe like watching TV. I have no way to interfere with or influence the other's side. It would be cool though. Is there any way I can talk to Selena directly like this? Yeah, I think you did. The first way. The real Selena is rejecting me and doesn't seem like she will listen to what I have to say. But in her memories, in other words, within her own heart, maybe my words will get through to her. Is there no way to enter the other side of the keyhole? But a keyhole is just that, a keyhole, and I don't have the key, so I won't be able to open it. Wait, if there's a keyhole, then maybe... I recall what happened during the day when I went to the mansion where Selena lives. At the time, I was able to use the neurovirus to investigate the situation. Oh my god! I'll give it a try. And I focused my mind, imagining the neurovirus stretching out towards the depth of the keyhole. I'm in. Before I knew it, a completely different landscape had unfolded before my eyes. It feels similar to when I peeked into the memories through the keyhole, but this time it's much more intimate, like I'm right there. Yes, it was as if I had slipped through to the other side of the memory keyhole. And then I hear the sound of sobbing coming from beside me. It's a voice that sounds familiar, one that brings back a deep sense of nostalgia. Now it's colored. Hime, is that you? The one standing there was Hime, or rather Selena as she appeared 7 years ago. Hime alone in the woods sobbing to herself. This scene feels eerily familiar, as if I've seen it before. Back then there was someone else here with her, but now I intuitively sense that person is no longer present. There's only Hime and me here, which means I'm the only one who can comfort her and stop her tears. I'm sorry, Hime.
すまるお兄ちゃん。
I still can't remember much about what happened 7 years ago, so I'm not sure what to say, but... if I ran away from everyone back then, I want to face it all again now. I say that as I gently stroke Hime's head, just as someone once did it for me. I think this is probably connected to what happened 7 years ago too, but it seems like we have a mysterious power now.
不思議な力。
But this power isn't something to be feared, because it's something we wished for. I was starting to vaguely understand the nature of our special abilities. It was when we first discovered my abilities, like keyhole and neurowiring, that I realized it. I held vacant to those powers at the moment I needed them most. And in the memories I saw earlier, Selena was strongly wishing for the otherworldly being to stay away from me. And as if granting her wish, the ability to blow her opponent away with an explosion was triggered. As long as we use this power correctly, I'm sure it will continue to help us from now on. So please, accept it. Accept your own power, and if possible, accept us too.
スバルお兄ちゃん。
Please give me the chance to regain what I lost 7 years ago. As I made that wish, I continued to gently stroke him and said, Did I change the past? Before I knew it, my consciousness had flickered for a moment and I found myself standing in front of the abandoned factory at dusk.
先輩、また指から糸が。いろいろと大丈夫なんですかそれ。
Before my eyes stood Selena frozen in a daze, and Nayuta, who was frantically fussing over the neurovires connected to me. It seemed I had returned to the real world, but
何今のは。夢。
no, it wasn't a dream.
じゃあ、さっきのって。
This is also my power, but it's not a lie or an illusion. It's all my true feelings.
そうなんだ。ちょっと信じられないけど、少なくとも夢じゃないみたいね。
From Selena's reaction, I realized that she must have shared the same vision as me just now. Selena also seemed to have regained her composure.
スバルくん、姫。
Miko-chan and Tomo and Kyo too.
スバルくんが異能を使った反応があったから心配したけど、何かあったの？
Well, just a bit, but I'm fine, so don't worry.
姫ちゃん、それに望月さんも。
姫はともかく、なんでその子がここに？
Well, it's just things kind of happened and...
皆倉先輩に、この間のお二人まで。皆さん、先輩とはどういったご関係で？
Miko-chan and the other two arrived, and the atmosphere suddenly became lively. There were a lot of things that needed to be explained, but for now... Selena, will you listen to our story again?
姫。姫ちゃん。
姫。
I spoke to Selena, and the others also turned to look at her intently. Selena received the gazes of her childhood friends, her face a mix of embarrassment and fluster.
おお、こいつは皆さんお揃いで。
A tactless voice poured cold water on the moment, and the timing and the owner of that voice were the worst possible.
いいね。お目当て以外にも女がたくさんいるじゃねえか。
You're the one from yesterday. The one standing there was the mysterious entity that had targeted Selena yesterday, and also the culprit behind the serious street killings.
お前らの仲間が女ばかりだったとはな。こいつはラッキーだ。女を一度に4人も切り刻めるぜ。
こいつが例の姫を狙ってた偉人ね。
We got to defeat him with just one, or two of us, so... Yeah, be careful. He's pretty strong. We outnumbered him 6-1, but the situation wasn't exactly in our favor. At the very least for now, Nayuta and Selena are out of commission, and Tomo isn't the type to fight on the front lines either. That means only I, Kyo, and Miko-chan can fight, but someone needs to protect the non-combatants like Nayuta and the others. Miko-chan and Tomo, I'm counting on you to look after Nayuta and Selena. Kyo and I will handle this guy.
それがいいだろうな。奴は女に異常な執着があるらしいから、女子は後ろに下がってた方がいい。
わかったわ。とも、姫の方をお願い。
わかった。姫ちゃん、こっち。
なゆたちゃんは私と一緒に来て。
でも先輩が。
I'll be fine. So you just stay by Miko-chan's side, got it?
わかりました。
Nayuta nodded and was led to the back by Miko-chan. Looking over, Selena had also retreated into the abandoned factory with Tomo. It's taken care of then. Now all that's left is...
どうだ作戦会議は終わったか
昨日尻尾を巻いて逃げた割には随分と余裕だな。
昨日は獲物に執着しすぎて焦っちまったからな。今日はお楽しみは後にとっておいて。まずは邪魔な男どもから先に片付けてやるぜ。
The foreign god transforms its arms into massive scythe-like claws, just like yesterday, and charges at them. Not a chance! In response, I extend my neurovires, but...
まだわかんねえのか。無駄なんだ。
The 5 wires are swiftly severed by the 2 massive scythes, which swing at high speed. Damn it! Stop working again! The outcome is the same as yesterday. My neurovires have no effect on his massive size.
俺が行く。お前は下がってろ。
Kyo! Saying that, Kyo passes by my side and charges towards the foreign god.
来たな小僧。昨日のようにはいかねえぞ。
それはどうかな。やってみるさ。はっ
Kyo charges straight into the enemy's midst and thrusts his fist forward in a straight line.
Hit!
A dual thud sounds and Kyo's right straight punch sinks deep into his opponent. But the first that landed was on the killer himself rather than on the folded section of a large scythe that was held out in front of him. The killer had been defending himself in a boxing-like guard stance, his arm transformed to mimic a praying mantis, allowing him to block the attack.
ガードの硬さはお前だけの売りじゃねえんだよ。
まだまだ。
Kyo unleashes a flurry of punches with his left and right fists, but the killer's guard is more robust than he anticipated, and he can't seem to break through.
今まで防御するなんて発想はなかったんだが、お前が教えてくれたんだぜ。
こいつ学習してやがる。
おっと
The killer seizes the brief moment between Kyo's attacks, landing a swift and deadly scythe blow like a sharp jab. To avoid the attack, Kyo takes a large step back.
さて、今度はこっちの番だ。
The killer lowers his guard and raises his scythe high, poised to strike. When it comes to reach, the killer has the advantage over Kyo. And because Kyo had stepped back earlier, he's now within the killer's striking distance.
行くぜ
The killer unleashes a flurry of high-speed slashes from both sides, closing in on Kyo. Kyo, look out! A loud metallic clang rings out. However, the killer's attack is deflected by Kyo, whose body has turned dark bluish purple. Bronze mode, bronze mode, bronze mode. Kyo's unique ability, which hardens his body, has kicked in. It was this very power that helped him save Sarina from a desperate situation just yesterday. As long as he has this ability, Kyo shouldn't lose that easily. I watched the battle between the two of them, sidelines. Between the two from the sidelines, thinking such thoughts. And I was quickly proven wrong.
やっぱりそうきたか。じゃあ、お前の相手なんてしてられねえな。
Saying that, the killer pulses his attack and gives me a brief sideways glance.
お前はそこで固まってろ。仲間が殺されるまでよ。今度はそっちの相手をしてやるぜ。
Oh, no. The killer lets out a battle cry and ignores Kyosuke, judging Kyosuke. Okay, I was completely caught off guard and I frantically tried to activate my neurovire. At the same time, Kyo breaks out of his character, of his hardened state, and tries to chase after the killer, but who's now heading towards me?
引っかかった。そう来ると思ったぜ。
何
By switching the target to me while Kyo was in his hardened state, he knew I'd be the one to trigger Kyo's desperation and cause him to break out of it. Which means that moment was exactly what the enemy was aiming for. He lunges at me. He lunges at him. Kyo! The fake attack was just a ruse. The true enemy had turned around and swung both of his scythes down at Kyo the moment he turned his back. Kyo was completely caught off guard, and before he could even harden or raise his guard, he was sliced to pieces by the swift and deadly attack.
ここは
As I gazed out at the abandoned factory, a wave of nostalgia washed over me, and I felt my breath catch in my throat. It was a secret hideout I hadn't visited in 7 years. Inside, despite the remnants of the past, there were also many things that hadn't been there 7 years ago.
姫ちゃん、こっちに来て。あなた、ともちゃんよね。そう。覚えててくれた？そんなの、忘れるわけないじゃない。
You did not forget, probably. Despite the change in atmosphere, I couldn't help but notice that she still had the same face and build as before. Or rather, it seems her height hasn't changed much since back then. At that time, I was shorter, but now the roles have reversed. Yeah.
積もる話もあるけど、それは後で。そうよね。でも私たちはどうすればいいの
That monster from earlier. We somehow managed to drive it away yesterday, but there's no guarantee that those two can win today. That being said, there's nothing we can do about it.
よいしょっと。って何よそれ。
I raised my voice in surprise at Tomo-chan, who suddenly took out something like a cannon. Why is something like that here? Of course it wasn't there 7 years ago.
それであの化け物を倒すの？これは攻撃のためのものじゃない。
Shaking her head slightly, Tomo-chan repeats matter-of-factly. What she has is called a net launcher, and it is said to be something that fires a net for capture. It is something used just before delivering the finishing blow, and you have to drive the enemy to the brink of death before that.
そのためには姫ちゃんの力が必要。私の力？あなたの持つ爆破能力なら敵に大きなダメージを与えられるはず。そんなこと言われても私。
It seems that I indeed possess that kind of power. But I didn't really understand that logic or how to use it, and to be honest, I was scared of that explosion that seemed to blow everything away.
大丈夫。姫ちゃんならできる。ともちゃん。一人はみんなのために。みんなは一人のために。あの時の誓いも忘れてないでしょ。
Tomo-chan said that and looked straight at me. 7 years ago, Tomo-chan was shy and timid, but now it seems she has become much stronger. I wonder if I have become a little stronger since the time when I was spoiled and cried easily.
お願い。表で戦っているスバル君とキョウ君を姫ちゃんが助けてあげて。私が助ける。
Yesterday those two helped me, so today I should. Do I have that kind of power? I stared at the wound on my left hand that I got the day before yesterday and thought for a while.
先輩たちが戦ってる。
From a little distance away, I watch over my seniors as they fight. The enemy clearly wasn't an ordinary human. Somehow its hands looked like those of a mantis or something.
あれってもしかして、この前うちの学校に現れたのと同じ？
そうよ。私たちは偉人って呼んでるわ。
偉人さん？外国の方ですか？
外国っていうか、そうね。こうなった以上、あなたにも知っておいてもらった方がいいかも。
Saying that, this person, Miss Miyako, briefly explained the situation to me. That Miyako and the others are senior's childhood friends. It was the first time I learned that senior Minokuro was the same way. Also, that being called the Other God is a man-eating monster that can take on any form. And the seniors have mysterious powers, and they use those powers to fight against strange gods.
なんだか信じられない話ですけど、でも現に今目の前で先輩たちが戦ってますしね。
理解が早くて助かるわ。詳しい話はこれが終わったら改めて。
Just as Miyako-san was about to say that, Kyo! The man whom my senior called Kyo was attacked by the enemy Mantis man and fell down. Mantis man. I can't believe that person who seems way stronger in a fight than my senior is getting beaten.
みやこさんどうしよう。先輩たちがピンチです。
大丈夫よ。まだ負けてない。
In contrast to my panicking, what Yayako? This is kind of Yayako, Miyako probably. No, it wasn't so much that she was calm. It seemed like she strongly believed it.
スバル君たちは、私たちはあんな奴には負けないわ。
やっはー、こいつは昨日のお返しだぜ。
Damn it! How dare you do that to Kyo? Kyo was mercilessly slashed by the alien god. If things continue like this, Kyo, I have to cover for him. That's not going to work. You! Almost desperate, I stretched the nerve wire toward the enemy.
バカの一つ覚えが。
However, as usual, everything is cut down by the scythe of the alien god. As I thought, my nerve wires are too thin to compete with that scythe, huh? If only it were thick enough not to be cut through by a sickle. The length of the nerve wire can be stretched to a certain extent, but it seemed that its thickness and strength couldn't be changed so easily. At least for me right now, it's difficult to increase the strength of the wire itself. What should we do? Isn't there any way to break through?
ちょっと。
Selena!
あんたの狙いは私じゃなかったの？やるなら私からにしなさいよ。
At that moment, Selena, who was supposed to be hiding inside the abandoned factory, appeared again and provoked an unknown god. What on earth are you thinking? Do you intend to act as a decoy yourself?
私の力は厄介なんでしょ。下手に傷つけたら血が爆発するんだからね。
そうだったな。おかげで切り刻むこともできやしね。
私だってなぶり殺しにされるくらいなら一撃で殺された方がマシよ。
なんだ、やけに諦めがいいじゃねえか。
でもね、あんたにミス殺されるくらいなら差し違え覚悟で自爆してやるんだから。
What?
なんだと？てめえ、正気か？
Selena, what are you talking about? Yeah, what are you talking about? Both the otherworldly god and I were taken aback by Selena suddenly saying something outrageous. That Selena, she can't seriously be planning to blow herself up, can she?
さあ来なさいよ。近づいてきたら吹っ飛ばしてやるわ。
はったりだ。自爆なんてできるわけがねえ。
それはどうかしら。開き直った女は怖いわよ。
Selena, don't be hasty. Even if you don't do something like that, we will manage somehow.
いいのよ。もともとこいつは私を狙ってきたんだし、これ以上迷惑はかけられない。
But no matter what, self-destructing is just...
だってそれしかないの。私の力じゃあまり離れた相手には効果が薄いもの。
Being told that, I remembered that Selena's supernatural ability is to camouflage her own blood as an explosive. Yesterday and the day before, when the murderer hurt Selena, it was possible to blow up the opponent with the blood that got on them. However, now that he has realized Selena's abilities, he will never make the same mistake again. If blood is not attacked to the target, it is impossible to detonate it directly. That was the greatest weakness of Selena's ability.
ほら、どうしたの？私を一撃で殺すんじゃなかったの？その鎌が届く範囲まで近づいてきたら自爆してあんたを巻き込んでやる。
貴様。
Due to Selena's declaration of self-destruction, the alien god could not move carelessly. Wait a minute, could this possibly be that kind of strategy? In other words, by threatening if you come closer you will self-destruct, it's meant to prevent the alien god from making a move. In that case, it should be safe as long as the other person doesn't come closer. Selena probably won't move on her own either.
そう、そっちが来ないなら。
何
Hey, Selena! Selena ran straight toward the alien god. This was once again an unexpected action. No way, are you seriously planning to make a suicide attack?
来るな来るんじゃねえ
Stop doing something stupid, Selena! Hey man! We were taken completely by surprise in succession, and both I and the other god were completely unnerved. And then Selena closed in to the very edge of the distance, just barely within reach of the otherworldly god's scythe.
これでも食らえ！
Throw the thing you were hiding in your hand at the... She threw the thing she was hiding in her hand at the alien god. That was probably a test tube. A test tube filled with red liquid. Blood. Blood.
この
Hát ezzel nem oldottam meg semmit, mert rád megy. Japs. You did not solve anything with this because... oh my god. Yeah, the blood is going to get on you, bro. The strange god reflexively cuts through the test tube with a sickle. Then the contents splashed and poured down on me. On me? Splash.
なんだこりゃ
The otherworldly deity dyed bright red, bathing the contents of the test tube from head to toe. It is red, just like blood.
吹っ飛べー！
The moment Selena screamed, the head of the foreign god exploded and blew away. At the same time, I finally understood. The contents of the test tube from earlier were Selena's blood. You catch on slow. And from the first self-destruct declaration, everything was foreshadowing for this.
やってくれたな小娘が
Taking the full force of the explosion, the damage from the alien god is by no means small. Now is the biggest chance. I have to press the attack and defeat him. Each individual wire is too thin and would be caught by the scythe swinging at high speed. In that case, why not stack several of them together and tie them up? I guess I just have to try. We even handle multiple wires together to make them thick and strong, so they won't lose to this scythe. For that purpose. His scythe. Go! I will use both hands to shoot wires from all 10 fingers at the same time.
何本あっても同じだ
A giant scythe swung at high speed. Until now, the moment someone entered its range, they would be cut down. If it's like this, how about that? Damn!
だと
Nerve wires extending from the tips of all 10 fingers of both hands. They were woven together into shape like a sphere. By weaving and building that wireframe sphere extended straight toward the alien god.
このクソが
The alien god tries to cut through the bundle of nerve wires, but the thick, tightly bound spears cannot be cut down as before. Keep going straight through! And the wire spear pierced straight through the enemy's body. The otherworldly god spewed golden blood and sank to its knees. Tomo, now!
任せて。
I called out without even knowing where he was, but Tomo gave a reassuring answer just as I had hoped. Tomo was on standby near the entrance of the abandoned factory. Aiming the net launcher held in both hands at the otherworldly god, I fired slightly upwards. She fired it. The release 4 warheads missile flies, that's a sentence, while tracing a parabolic trajectory. Bum. Unfolding in all directions above the head of the alien god, a capture net spreads out with a snap. Flop. A flap. And just like that, the net flapped down and covered the target. An indescribable silence envelops the surroundings. And after a brief moment, something withered under the net, bubbling just as I had seen before. Yeah. Next came a dry popping sound and crystals scattered inside. They got caught in the net and fell down. It's over, huh? I exhaled in a relief as I returned a neurowire to my hands.
こら、まだ終わってないだろ。
Damn, even his sprite changed. That's cool. Hey, it's not over yet, is it? Daiga no Sakaturn. Oh, yeah, you have to break him. Kyo, are you okay?
ああ、なんとかな。でもまだ体が動かん。だから最後の締めはお前に任せる。
That last touch. I see. I finally realized it after Kyo told me. I defeated and walked over the net that had fallen to the ground. Then I probed under the net and took out the item I was looking for. Found it. I guess this is everything for this time.
綺麗な石ですね。何それ？宝石の原石か何か？
Naruto and Salina, who know nothing about it, peer curiously at the golden lamp I picked up. I decided to tell the two of them exactly what I had been taught before. This is a crystal of a foreign god. You could say it's their seed.
種子？じゃあその石からまたあの化け物が生まれるの？こんなに綺麗なのに。
Although the two of them sharply drew back, they were staring intently at the crystal in my hand. Anyway, until we break this, we can't say we completely defeated the alien god. When I said that, I dropped the crystal onto the ground. I smashed it with all my strength. The crystal was unexpectedly fragile, and its fragments crumpled away like fine ash. Burn it. This time, it's finally over.
そう。やっと終わったのね。
Hearing my mutter, Selena let out a sigh of exhaustion rather than relief. Selena, you saved me earlier, but you really are reckless.
私だってやりたくてやったんじゃないわ。でもあれしかないってともちゃんが言うから。
So, it was you, Tomo, who came up with that plan earlier.
作戦っていうほどじゃない。単なる駆け引き。あれが成功したのは姫ちゃんがうまかったから。
But Tomo also prepared that test tube, right?
うん。姫ちゃんの能力が血を媒介にしてるって聞いたから、前もって準備してた。
There it is. Tomo's in advance. What's astonishing is the speed of her thinking and preparation.
ご丁寧に注射器まで用意してあったんだから。まさかこんなところで採血されるとは思ってなかったわ。
I see, so that's how you filled the test tube with blood and made an improvised bomb. I feel like that she's going to have like that ammunition belt that people carry around, but instead of like ammunition, she's going to have like tubes of blood on it. I mean, now that I think about it, what if she has her period? I'm so curious about her age scenes too. Like, what the fuck? She's a virgin, bro. I mean, is it like she can decide to break up? Damn. Or Chin Chin is going to get it. Oh my god. This is such a terrible power for a girl to have. I'm sorry for you. Moreover, it was a highly advanced grenade that could be detonated at Selena's discretion. I kind of said that Tomo is the Force route now. A brilliant strategy to maximize Selena's abilities. Thanks to it, we were even able to defeat the alien gods.
ところで、さっきの化け物は結局何だったの？それになんであんたたちがあんなのと戦ってるのよ。
That is...
私も聞きたいです。さっき、みやこさんから簡単に教えてもらいましたけど、先輩の口からちゃんと聞かせてください。
ミコね？
しょうがないでしょ。彼女はもう2回も偉人を目撃してるし、これ以上隠し通すのは無理よ。
I knew it. I had a feeling sooner or later this would happen to me too. As for Selena, that's one thing, but I wanted to avoid involving Nayuta if possible. But as Miko-Nisan says, it's no longer a situation where we can keep it hidden, for the safety of both of them from now on. Got it. It might take a little while, but I want both of you to listen. I made up my mind and decided to tell everything. Yeah, Tanyuji.
やっぱりこうなってしまうのですね。でもそれが彼女の望みなら思う通りにさせてやりたい。
What are you talking about?
たとえそれが彼女に不幸をもたらすとしても。
Please, somehow. Please. I was shedding tears by strongly wishing for something from something. But what am I wishing for? I don't even know myself. I still can't remember. What I can clearly remember comes from the scenes that followed. As if responding to my wish, the something in my hand emits a faint light. Pale orange-colored light. Right in front of my eyes, something that can only be described as a giant amoeba is changing its shape like clay. I recognize that life-size clay figure. There's no way I could forget because it was my little sister's figure. Huh? When I woke up, I was inside the dim and dusty abandoned factory. Waking up? So that means I was sleeping here. It seems I dozed off before I knew it. And then I finally remembered the situation. A few days had passed since the Selena incident, and one afternoon after school we had gathered at the abandoned factory as usual. Furthermore, today, in addition to the usual 4 people, Selena is also supposed to come. Just as I once came here to give an answer.
スバル君、起きた？
Tomo, sorry, it seems I was dozing off for a bit.
いいの。それより、姫ちゃんが来たよ。
I see, then let's go. I nodded and got up from the mat laid out on the floor of the abandoned factory. Selena, long time no see. I'm glad you came.
久しぶりって、この間の7年ぶりの再会に比べたら、ほんの数日くらいご無沙汰でもないでしょ。
That's right. Well, anyway, welcome to our secret base. Just as Mikone did for me before I welcomed Selena. Today, Selena was wearing the uniform of Matsuzawa Girls' Academy, as expected of a young lady. It suited her very well. No, of course, Mikone also looked good in it, but she just inevitably gives off the image of the Shrine Maiden. Well, that doesn't matter right now anyway.
それで、早速だけど、答えを聞かせてくれるかしら。
7年前のことも偉人のことも忘れて今まで通りの生活に戻るか、それとも。
Mikone and Kyo asked Sarina the same question they asked me. After the incident the other day, we explained about the alien god to Selena and Nayuta. A series of disappearances occurred in this town 7 years ago. The culprit was a being that mimics humans and devours people, a different god. And from the crystal left behind by that guy, a new alien god has awakened and it is currently rampant in this town. As those who know the truth from 7 years ago, though I myself still can't remember the details, we are fighting to eradicate the alien gods lurking in this town. Also, for some reason, we possess abilities close to those of an alien god, which are called special powers and so on. After explaining those things, we invited Selena. We asked if she could lend us a hand, if she was willing. Of course, I won't force it. I will respect Selena's will above all. I wonder, would you fight alongside us? If you are thinking you shouldn't move in for what? If you are thinking about Selena, you shouldn't involve her any further. If I think about Selena, probably. But I wanted Selena to fight alongside me too, because I wanted a comrade from 7 years ago to be with me.
正直、あんな怖い思いはもうたくさんよ。
That's true, I guess. It was an answer that was to be expected, but I still felt disappointed. It has a strategic meaning, but also in a mental sense. I wish my childhood friends could have joined together.
でも、あの偉人って化け物に怯えて暮らすのはもっと嫌。
Huh?
私一人じゃ、たとえあの力があったとしても、偉人から自分の身を守るのは難しいもの。だから、私もみんなと一緒に戦うわ。その方が多分怖くないと思うから。
姫ちゃん。
姫。
あ、その代わり、姫って呼ぶのはやめて。恥ずかしいから。
わがままなのは相変わらずだな。
何よ。あんたこそ相変わらず口が悪いわね。変わったのは外見だけ？
お前と相性が悪いのだけは変わってないらしい。
But both of you, since this is a rare opportunity, let's try to get along again properly.
そうですよ。仲良くしましょう。これからこの6人で幾多の困難を乗り越えていくんですから。
That's right, with these 6 people... Hey, wait a minute.
何ですか、先輩。
Why are you here?
あ、それはさっき先輩がお昼寝してる間に。
That's not it. Why are you acting like it's normal that Nayuta is here?
私も仲間に入れてもらおうと思いまして。
So that's how it is after all. Don't be a dickhead. Let her join. I let out a deep sigh at Nayuta, who had blended in with an innocent expression. I had somewhat anticipated that this would happen. At the very least, there was no way Nayuta would stay quiet and behave. But to come straight at me like this, and yet try to blend in so casually... Nayuta, I can't let you get caught up in this fight too. I see you off, so go home immediately.
嫌です。私も先輩とここにいる皆さんと一緒に戦います。
You don't even have powers. Even if you say you fight, you can't do anything, can you?
それはそうかもしれないですけど。
Nayuta doesn't have supernatural abilities like we do. Also, they don't have extraordinary talent like Domo. Above all, she is just an ordinary girl, unrelated to what happened 7 years ago. Nayuta has nothing to do with our past, right? So there shouldn't be any reason for you to fight the alien god.
関係なくなんかないです。理由だってあります。
Huh?
確かに昔のことは聞いた話でしか知りませんけど、今のことは知っています。少なくとも今の先輩のことはここにいる誰よりも私が一番よく知っています。
Nayuta.
そして私が偉人と戦う理由は先輩のことが好きだからです。
No one knew this.
Oh.
In front of everyone, boldly and clearly, Nayuta declared it that way.
好きな人が危険を承知で戦っているのに自分だけ何もしないでいるなんて無理です。
You know, Nayuta...
たとえ今ここで振られたってこの気持ちは変わりません。先輩と皆さんと一緒に戦いたいっていうのも一緒です。直接戦うことはできなくても私にもできることがあると思うんです。だから私も仲間に入れてください。お願いします。
Nayuta bowed deeply toward me and the other 4, pleading. I'm impressed. I never thought you would show such determination and resolve with such an attitude. What the hell am I supposed to do?
いいんじゃない？この際だし、なゆとちゃんにも仲間になってもらいましょうよ。
本当ですか？
Hey, Mikuni-san?
あそこまで言われちゃ、無下に断るわけにもいかないでしょ。
No, it's not really about that kind of enthusiasm.
それに、なゆたちゃんの身の安全のことを考えても、そばにいて一緒に行動した方がいいんじゃない？
To be honest, yeah. That is...
あなたが一番最初に偉人と戦った時、ただなゆたちゃんを守るためだけに戦ったんでしょ？こうして私たちと一緒に戦うことにしたのも、なゆたちゃんを守るためっていう理由もあったはずよ。私たちと行動を共にすれば、彼女も危険な目に遭う可能性は否めない。でもその代わり、私たちで直接彼女を守ることもできるわ。
Indeed, there was some truth in what Mikune said. Battles against different gods often ends up being reactive, especially the early victims of incidents are almost impossible to prevent. But at least with us, we can reuse the chances of Nayuta becoming its early victim.
みんなもどうかしら。なゆたちゃんを仲間に入れるのに反対の人は？
私は別にいいと思う。
私も入ったばっかりだしね。偉そうに反対する理由はないかな。
But if, Nayuta confessed her love to me in the common route, it's going to be very awkward for the characters. Tomo, Sarina.
俺も構わない。理由は何であれ、やる気と根気があるのならな。
皆さん、ありがとうございます。私、一生懸命頑張りますから。
それで、スバルくんは？
先輩。
Alright, do whatever you want, Nayuta. I finally gave up and accepted joining Nayuta. And I accept that for Nayuta's joining. For the sake of Nayuta and for my own sake as well, I just decided to think that way for now.
やったー！だから先輩って大好きです。
Hey, please don't say things like that too much.
あのさ、一応念のために確認しとくけど、あなたたちって付き合ってんの？
No, that's not it. We are not actually going out.
そんな即答しなくても。事実ですけど。
あら、そうなの？私はてっきり。
そうなんだ。二人は付き合ってないんだ。
So, Subaru is off limits.
よかったな。
Why?
ええ、ほんと。って別に良くも悪くもないわよ。変なこと言わないでよね。
今のは気を使ったつもりだったんだが。
うるさい。もう余計な
What
こ
the
と言うな。
fuck? What is that face expression? I don't know why, but Sonina and Kyo are arguing. Those two have been quarrelsome friends since way back.
とにかく、これでようやく6人が揃ったわね。
6 of us. At Mikone's words, I look around at the people nearby. Tomo, Salina, Mikone, Kyo, and adding me and Nayuta, making a total of 6 people. Six people, indeed. There were 6 people here. The child named Koto, who was supposed to be here 7 years ago, is no longer here, and in a way that fills that gap, Nayuta is here instead. Foreshadowing. Maybe it's finally time for me to seriously face what happened 7 years ago. While everyone was getting excited about the new member joining, I was secretly making up my mind.
そうだ！せっかくだし、記念写真でも撮りませんか？
あら、いいわね。カメラはあるの？
私、持ってる。デジカメでよければ。さすがみなくら先輩。じゃあ、早速撮りましょうよ。
やだ、ちょっと待ってよ。すぐに髪直すから。
写真、それも悪くないか。
ほら、先輩もぼーっとしてないで。並んで並んで。
I got it! Before we knew it, a photo shoot was about to take place, with 6 men and women lined up in a corner of the abandoned factory. That's not how you say it, because there's no 6 men, but okay. There's just 2 men. From the sidelines, it might have been a somewhat strange sight. But we ourselves actually quite enjoyed it. Yes, it was fun, just like the old days.
じゃあ、ここにカメラをセットして、あとはここを押すだけでいいんですよね。そう。セルフタイマーはもう設定してあるから。わかりました。じゃあ、行きますよ。
When you press the button on the digital camera placed on top of the drum can, Nayuta flaps back to its position, to her position by itself.
しちゃった。あとどれくらいですかね。あと5秒。4、3、2、1。 1はいチーズ
Damn!
ちゃんと撮れてるこれ結構いい感じじゃないですか？
あらほんと。この写真ってもらえたりするのかしら？
後でプリントアウトしてみんなに配る。
やだ、私カメラの方見てないじゃない。あんたが私の隣に来るからよ。
Does this camera have other photos though?
そんなの知るかよ。
Wow, this is great. It's really well taken. Huh? While looking at photos together with everyone, I suddenly felt dizzy. I wonder what's wrong all of a sudden. Something like this has never happened before. What's happened? This is... And in the dizziness blurred vision, the images on the digital camera gradually give way to another photo. It is a photo showing young children. No, the ones reflected here are us. To be precise, it was a photo from 7 years ago when we were kids. But why is this photo appearing before my eyes right now?
先輩どうかしたんですか？
I told you! I told you!
待って
Reveal
様子がお
it!
かしい。
Reveal it! Reveal it!
ちょっとどうしたのよ。ねえ、聞こえてる？
スバル、おいスバル。
The way the sounds are like fading out. My consciousness drifts away as if being sucked into the photograph. I can hear everyone's voices noticing something strange about me from around me, but even those are gradually getting quieter. Eventually my vision was completely engulfed in darkness. Ha! I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! I should just, Amber word, we are... Oh my god, this is Life is Strange. This is Life is Strange. This is Life is Strange. Episode 3, damn. Okay, so, you know what? I told you that I'm going to... I did not plan this, but I was so fucking invested in this, though. Holy shit, this episode was insanely... had an insanely good ending. This might be a 3-hour episode, actually. Like, I don't even know. Especially since I plan to yap about this. So, episode 4... I said that, you know, tomorrow, because tomorrow is Monday, or it might be already. Let me check the time. No, it's not Monday. It's 22 o'clock. But, do you even say 22 o'clock? What the fuck? Whatever. It's 22:15. So, I said that tomorrow or Monday I'm going to play Pragmata. But this might not be the truth. Like, I mean, I'm going to play Pragmata regardless. But this game, like this story now, I'm so fucking focused on this. Especially since episode 4 is going to be... episode 4 is going to be the first or the last episode, or kind of like it's a half episode-ish, where we are going to pick the routes as we go on, or that's the episode where all the routes are going to branch, and after experiencing everyone's route, we are going to see Nayuta's route. Because she's the true or grand route, I guess. And that's when episode 5 is going to come, and 6, I think. There's 6 episodes. And before that, there's going to be, like, I think, special or after episodes or something. Like, they have a different name. So, obviously, I'm going to click on this. Where is this? I'm not going to click. So, I kind of wanted to, you know, end the episode or the part... after the fight ended, but I had a feeling that like this is very close to the end of the episode. So yeah, I guess what I can say is I will probably going to intertwine or like switch back and forth between Pragmata and this, because I'm very invested in this. I never expected for like this visual novel to just like completely do a third genre shift, like inside the genre shift. And like obviously I have to make eventually my opinions at the very end of the game, but you know, after this episode I feel like I have to say a little bit more, and what I'm going to say is like going to be very short, but I just really loved how this like this part that I just recorded, how amazing it was, and it was very well written. So not even Subaru was a dickhead. If you like noticed it, I kept switching you know, models between this episode or inside this episode, mainly because like DeepL has this stuff where I think, I don't know how many characters, but eventually you hit a limit, and after 30 days, so you get a 30-day timeout. And I wanted to get the free trial, but I previously got the free trial before because I wanted to play Onikis back then with it. If only I knew how shit that game is. But yeah, so we went through like 3 or to 4. Now we are back at Bing, and this is likely going to stick like that. So I don't want to keep yapping because this episode I feel is already like 3 hours long. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you probably this week. So I can't guarantee you how long, but I'm very invested. So much so that I could just do a episode 4 one take, probably. But I think that this is going to end right here because I don't want to stay up all night and I have to go play Hammer's Red anyway. So thank you guys for watching, and I probably after this I'm off to write a Reddit review or something. Like everyone should play this game because I'm very invested in this, and this is a killer visual novel. So yeah, see you guys.